What's going on, everybody?
Hang
Johnny,
on, I can't see anything. I'm just
I don't
cleaning my
recognize you.
glasses.
I don't recognize you without your glasses.
Sorry, I'm ever professional. It was like looking through a cloud.
Welcome to episode 86, and today we've got the wonderful, the awesome, the fantastic Mike Puckett from the certification team at SOLIDWORKS. Always an absolute pleasure. It's become this is now the third, maybe fourth year in a row that we've hung out just before 3D Experience World.
Yeah, nice to see you guys again.
Yes,
too.
and I think because it's happened once before, we've got to ask you every time now: is 3D Experience World still happening?
Oh yes, that's for sure. Yeah, those few years, man. Oh yeah, yep. Yes, for sure.
And I think we are all very, very excited for it. We're excited. Mike gave us a little hint about his little CSW event. We've got information that we probably aren't allowed to talk about, but we will tease as much as we can.
I will say this. It's okay. I tell everyone right now, even though they're not in the chat yet. It's in Houston.
Good.
You know what?
I should start with Texas. I should start with that. Sorry.
It's in Texas. We will.
Yep. And there'll be like towels and stuff like that somewhere around there.
Good.
I'm thoroughly looking forward to it, but we'll get to that. First thing I wanted to say is this man over here, that guy. He's now a married man, Mr. Jonathan.
Yeah. Congratulations, by the way.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. You were dressed up for nice.
I've made an effort for one day of my life. I know it makes a change.
Yeah. Was it a rental? Did you keep it?
No, it was just a rental. You know, right. I don't have such occasions to wear three-piece suits that often, so I just rented. But Kirby was there, Mike. He was there in his full body and mind and
suit.
He was suited and booted.
I think it's the first time Johnny and I have ever seen each other in suits.
It was quite weird, actually. It was very weird on that respect.
I'm trying to remember last time I wore a suit in a professional environment. Years and years. You know,
yeah,
I've been to a few funerals over the last couple of years, but I never wore a suit. Just shirts like that. So yeah.
Suits are dying out in the business world. I think it's all about jeans and the tucked-in shirt now, or the polo shirt.
Yeah,
I mean, I do admit, Mr. Leonard Tyndall, he rocks a suit every day.
He does.
Yeah. I remember I used to have on the team. I used to give them T-shirts, but they were embroidered T-shirts. Right. And CSWE shirts and like that. And I think there's a few years ago, I put on the back of it, there were numbers for CSWE, right? And so I went through the directory from all the people on the team, and I said, okay, I know since I wrote the CSWE exam, I'm CSWE number 0001. Yes. On the back of those shirts, it says 00001. And then I found the rest of them for the rest of the guys. So I bought them. I got those some years ago. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, now Johnny's officially certified. He finally cracked the exam.
I've done a lot in the last year. I'm married. I passed the certification, mate. You got to be proud. Finally.
Yeah. Second try though.
Yeah, it was second try. All right, Kirby, sit back down, will you?
Yeah, it happens. I mean, they always fail at least once. That's for sure.
I do feel like Johnny, you learned something from it at least.
You know what? I feel like I should have probably done some more prep the first time round and not just gone into it swingingly, wildly blind. And then I always say to everyone, oh, yeah, I messed up the assembly section. And they go, how? And I go, I messed up the assembly section. Yes, I know. It's unbelievable. It was gear mates. I just totally blanked and just went, yeah, this isn't going to happen.
If I remember correctly, the first time I went to SOLIDWORKS World, it was here in Las Vegas when I lived in Southern California, and so I come to Vegas, and Saturday night, we all go to drink and like that, which is probably the worst thing to do when you're going to do an 8-hour exam, right? Yeah. I remember still sitting in that conference room, it's like I might have been still buzzed a little bit at that early in the morning, and so the CSWP exam, I failed. So that was the first exam I lost that one for the first time. So it's hard to do, that's for sure.
That's good. I mean, I know during the last time we hung out about a year ago, you'd mentioned that you were hoping to do your exams this year at World. How far are you from achieving that?
Yeah, it's so I will say this, the having a stroke and stuff like that, I've learned now probably over the last few months or so. I go to these support groups now ever since then, and you start to learn more and more that when you have a stroke, the time for things to go back to normal, it's a long process,
Yeah.
and so everything that I thought would be happening so fast, it can't. It has to repair a bunch of stuff in the person's brain, right? And the brain does not want to just do everything at the first time, right? It's not like when you break a leg, So it's a long process, and so I've kind of finally dealt with that part of it to understand that yes, it'll be a long process, but there's more stuff to do down the road. So hopefully down the road, I'll start with CSWA again.
Yeah.
But maybe next year, we'll see. I don't want to. I didn't want to sell myself short after last year. I
Yeah.
should have not done that.
Yeah, I mean, it's you work at your own pace. You're still kind of learning it. I assume a lot of this. Well, I mean, I hope some of it comes as like a bit of an aha moment. It kind of starts to fit into place. So, I mean, for that, what's one thing that you would say is your biggest achievement since 3D Experience World last year?
Um, I guess finally turning a corner to that. Okay, yeah, my life went upside down times 10, and this and that. Um, but that I was going to be okay down the
Yeah.
road. I remember last year. We talked about yesterday is about we were talking about the Formula One, the driver again, the older guy.
Yeah, Paddy Lowe.
Paddy Lowe, yeah. To sit down and have breakfast with him last year backstage, to me is like it was huge because it was, that was kind of something that I never thought I'd be able to do. Of course, for me, my life it's SolidWorks. I've been with the company, 15, 16 years now. And I used to be a user before, and even to this day, I'm a huge, huge, huge SolidWorks fan, and I always will be. So if I have to I have to learn all this stuff all over again, that's fine. I don't mind doing it again. Maybe 30 years I'll be better. So that's how it works for me.
I mean, my wife joined us last year at 3D Experience World, and to her, just going to that event made her a fan of SolidWorks, as a company that just looks after, their staff, looks after their customers, puts together a great show that just celebrates what everybody does, and everybody in the community are just super awesome, super sweet, super supportive, and, we're always happy to be a part of it and get to hang out with folk like yourself.
This is my subscription refund for the year coming up.
Oh.
Or at least a bit of it.
Yeah. I wish somewhere in a email somewhere I have my original the numbers that we have the 42 or digits, whatever, for the license, my serial number.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's somewhere around here. It's in an email somewhere around here. But I guess when I finally retire, usually they'll give you like a lifelong code that you can use for the rest of your life.
Well, that's really nice.
So I know they've done it a few times. So we'll see. If not, then I'll get different software or something like that. And so, but no, I'm not. Yeah, it's fun.
You had mentioned to me. Were you going to say something, Johnny? Sorry.
I was just going to say SolidWorks for makers, Mike, is a great offer.
It's the cheapest way to use it. Yeah,
it is. It's great. It's a really good entry level makers edition, which is basically full SolidWorks, just slightly tweaked down.
Yeah, I still get these emails. Well, I get emails all the time from users that are young that take a CSWP exam and then some take CSWE, and they love it. It's like I mean, back in those days, there's no software like that, you know.
No,
But
there isn't.
it changed those kids' lives the rest of their lives.
Yeah. I mean, it literally changed Johnny and Marn's life. Jumping into
yeah.
SOLIDWORKS University. I mean, I wasn't taught SOLIDWORKS in university. We went to Unigraphics NX, Siemens NX. I hated it and jumped into SOLIDWORKS instead.
Yeah, I started with AutoCAD, you know, and that was, you know, 2D, right? And then I saw this thing called SOLIDWORKS. What's SOLIDWORKS? It was on the computer at work in the department that I worked at in the machine shop area. See what this is? Oh, well, what is this? Oh, what are these tutorials? And then I just started learning more and more. And then I understood that okay, in the shop it's warm and there's fluids, everything else. These guys upstairs, it's air conditioning and they can use computers. That's what I want.
Yeah, and I don't go home dirty. This is great.
Yeah,
it's funny, Johnny. Brandon always he's so jealous of me up in the office while he's down on the factory floor.
Yeah, I don't miss it. I'm glad I made that jump back to the office work. I still get out on the shop floor a bit, but
yeah,
I'm lucky because my dad, I mean, he trained me into everything. I mean, he ran EDM machines for decades and decades, you know. And I remember, even to this day, I still remember the first day standing in front of him to look to this machine, all these buttons and stuff like that. And these are like from the 70s, right?
yeah.
So there's no displays like that. I go, what are these buttons for? I'll never understand how all these buttons, what they're for. But then down the road, you know, eventually I was running the teams, those teams, stuff like that. So, yeah.
I mean, I guess for some people, looking at SOLIDWORKS can be like, what are all these buttons at the top?
Yeah, maybe we should go back to remember the colored, the non-colored icons. Maybe remember that. So
I have a guy at work that has changed his buttons back to the old style. He likes it like that because that's what he learned on, and he refuses to move to the new colors.
You should try get him onto the platform next.
No, that's not worth it. Look, PDM's a push. Let's just say that. This check-in, check-out thing at times can become tricky for some people.
So, but I think at some point I was told that if you can't actually do any of the certifications with a maker's license. I don't know if that's still the case.
So we're kind of starting to connect those things as well, you know, because, you know, 3D experience, it is the future, I would say, you know. It's, as a company standpoint, have we been the best to adopt all that stuff to make it easier? No, not at all. But they're getting better and better and better at all.
I totally agree. Like since 2019 to now, 5 years time, coming on 6, it has improved a lot. Like logging in is so easy now.
Do you remember the issue I had, Kirby?
What was it?
Every time I logged in, I had to reset my password, Mike, and it wouldn't let me use the same password every time for a year and a half.
Yeah, I won't talk about passwords. So our corporate password is 24 digits long.
Yeah, that's what mine is at work.
Yeah.
And you can't repeat the same character too many times, and it can't be common words, and it has to have capitals and special characters. Yeah,
I won't show you this piece of paper right here. I mean, I think a lot of people do that. It's on their desk, right?
Yeah.
That's the only most of the time where when I have to log in. For me, I can go through maybe 3 or 4 characters before my brain just gets.
That's hilarious how they've introduced these ways to make things more secure. So you're forced to write it down on your desk.
It's just under everyone's keyboard now, isn't it?
Touch ID.
Yeah.
As our Apple fans love.
Yeah. I mean, we starting to introduce all of that at work, and I'm just like, no, they want to install. I'm lucky they want to install like some software on my computer that can remote access and do things. But as soon as they do that, I can't access my printers. So I can't do any production work. So it was like, you're not paying on my computer. Like, you will literally halt production. So I haven't got any of that yet.
It's crazy how it works. I mean, everything they'll catch up, you know. It's so the
I
corporate.
totally agree. I mean, at my work, we use an online platform. Basically everybody uses it now, some sort of online platform, and 3D Experience is kind of the platform for SolidWorks and that. And
Yeah, I know.
it'll get there as more and more people get used to it and share.
Yeah, all of our HR stuff is all on the platform, and we have so. I think yesterday or the day before, or this weekend, a lot of times I just sit down on a Sunday or a Saturday just to click around there to remember how things are again, and since I've learned all this stuff again, and so like going through the platform stuff for like the HR stuff, and it's like, okay, that's right, because it's this time of year we have to start doing our goals for the year, and so putting all that in there, it's before the stroke it was easy, this now it's like, what is this again? So but it's getting easier, yeah.
Yeah, and as more and more people use it, it works. I just want to have a quick shout out to Mr. Casey who's joined us. Mike, I don't know if you follow much of what Casey's been doing lately.
Casey,
it's Gurman, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure I met him and I know he is, but
so he's doing a he's
What's it called, the Great Loop or something like that?
Yeah, he's doing the Great Loop of America, I think is what it's called, where he sailed up in his little boat from Florida all the way up to New York. Went inland across to the lakes around Chicago. Yeah, Gorman, yeah. And then back down through the middle of the states, down the Mississippi, and he's now down by the Panhandle of Florida, I think.
Yeah, Casey Gorman, yeah, from Florida.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, I've gone to his meeting some years ago as a user group. So I've been there a few times. Yes, so say hi to Casey.
Yeah, well. It's an amazing adventure, and I want to pick his brain. That's a little future guest there, I reckon. We'll get the exclusive on his story
once he's back on dry land.
Back on dry land,
or more permanently.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Yeah.
In our email, we were busy chatting. Well, you mentioned that you're interested in 3D printing again, or you want to use that as a tool.
Yeah, my first 3D printer was a MakerBot Rev 2, I think.
Yeah, they were the bee's knees back then.
They were very expensive. They were probably like $2,000 at the time.
Yes,
you can find them now on like Amazon for like $300 now.
Yeah, I mean you can get. You had mentioned that you through your research you've been looking at the Bamboo Labs.
Yeah,
$200-300, you're getting better quality than you ever got on the MakerBot. The technology
way faster as well.
Advanced, it's faster. It just works.
Yeah, and a third of the price. Yes.
Yeah, it's the Apple of 3D printing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was always one of those persons with the technology stuff. I always wanted to be on the forefront of things. I mean, I was the first person to the iPhone. The very first version of the iPhone. Oh, let me try this, and since I'm single, I have money, so I don't have to worry about kids and family and stuff like that, right? So I always had disposable income, right? So I would buy all this stuff. My house is covered with all that stuff, right? But yeah, with 3D printing, it was fun to do that stuff. You would learn things, and then we had a 3D printer exam, right, and stuff like that. So. I just want to get more into it. It's just, again, you have to start all over with everything. So I think that Bamboo one might, it might be because it looks pretty easy in the interface that they have now. But something that's easy is the most part, and you just have to start with something, right?
Yeah, I totally agree. That's a beautiful place to start. The Bamboo Labs are as close to plug and play as you can get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they really are.
You just turn them on, they work, and the servicing, like information online, is very easy. And I think that's it for me. I've always found 3D printing a very natural way to get young kids and people into design and engineering. Is they get that printer, they plug it in, they turn it on, they start downloading things online, and then they start, to think and be like, hang on, I need a little spacer for something in my kitchen. How do I design it? And they'll find an online tool and they'll quickly 3D model that thing, and then they'll print that, and then they'll get more and more complicated. It's a very natural, progressive way for people to get into design and engineering. So I would 100% encourage, get yourself a Bamboo Labs. I would love to see the kind of things that you would tinker with.
It seems like they're always out of stock. So I'm just waiting for them to replenish the stock or something like that, and then just grab one. I mean, just to to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at getting from resellers. I know there's a reseller called Matter Hackers in California.
Oh yeah,
close to Anaheim.
Yeah.
They might have stock in that, but
yeah.
I know the Maker Lab at the Boston office has got 3 Bamboo Labs now. They've kind of shifted aside all the fancy ones, and they're now just using Bamboo Labs.
Yeah, it's a long drive from here to Waltham. But if I was living there, I would probably spend most of the time, in the Maker Lab, to play with those machines.
Yeah, I mean, the people there would probably be happy for you to jump
Yeah,
in. Yeah,
unless they have one that they can ship me over or whatever, But yeah. So I'm sure they have 3D printers and machines that they're kind of like covered in dust now.
a little bit. I know Chinlu and Sol use it a lot for the magic wheelchair stuff.
Yeah.
And there's other kind of experimental companies that are in there. So they do get used. Jonny and I were fortunate to go to the Paris Dassault offices and see the brand new squeaky clean one there.
Very clean.
It was a little too clean for a
Too
workshop.
clean.
Either it was brand new, or you can see it was just a bit of a show. But there were people building things. It was great there was a whole team there doing a team building exercise in that workshop, building these lamps that they had built and made. So it does have its advantages to have an internal one. I'm
fair,
sure.
The team building activity they were doing was quite cool, actually. The cardboard laser cut lamp things. I thought that was a good little quick day team building project, actually.
Yeah, it was a few years ago. We had there was a customer of ours that makes private planes, 2-seater planes.
Yeah.
And they built it there in Waltham.
I think Luke was there, kind of helping out that first time Luke went to Boston.
Yeah, I don't think they ever flew that plane because of probably insurance requirements, right? But it was there, and so even I'm pretty sure I put at least one rivet into that plane, which is fun. So yeah. The company it's one of probably the best company I ever worked for in my entire life. I mean, over the last year and a half, I was gone for probably 6 months, right after the stroke and like that. They took care of me in ways that a company would ever do.
Yes.
You're
saying so.
Yeah, Suchit Jain, he's a VP, right? He called me at least a few times after the stroke to see if I need anything, and I didn't even work for him. He was in a different department, right? But he would call me and says like, "Well, what do you need?" I said, "Well, the only thing I would love to have the entire team at 3D Experience World the next year, so we can all stand as they open those doors as the users run in, so we can remember this is why we do this,
Yeah.
And so he says, "Oh yeah, okay, that's fine, that's easy." But Mike, what I meant, do you need like a steak or something like that, or food and something like that? I go, "Oh no, nothing like that." I goes, "I just want to go through the Experience World," and so that's kind of why I ended up on stage last year in a little way, The story was different with the customer, which is great, But people for the company, even like when Avellino on our team, when he broke it, or he lost his leg in the motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
I told him, you have to go. You cannot stay home. And I go, even if I have to push you around in a wheelchair, I'll do that. Yeah. And there we were. I was pushing him around, And so we took him backstage, and the CEO guy from Dassault was there, and he shook his hand, and he says, "No, thank you for doing everything that you've done as an employee, he shook his hand that way instead. So I mean, it was, it's a CEO, so everyone knows everyone, and it's a great company to work for.
As much as a big company as it is, it seems quite a family feel from
Very.
our views, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, even today, I remember when I went there for my interview, and I'm sitting in there. This is in Concord, the Concord. This is before Waltham, right? And I'm sitting there waiting, and the people come by and like, hey, Mike, hey, how are you? They look at me like, why are you dressed up in a suit? Are you getting hired? Well, I don't. We'll see. So it was fun. I mean, I had 6 interviews, and
Wow.
once once I was ready, it's okay. The head hunter guy was there. He's okay. Well, 4 of the people have already said you're fine, so we don't see them today. They already said you're good. So you have 2 interviews, and so one of them was Avelino from the certification team.
Yep.
And he was trying to say, okay, I have these questions about SOLIDWORKS. Can you help me with this like this? So we spent like an hour talking about these. I said, oh, I don't know. There's no questions about the interview. You passed, So I only had one interview.
All right.
Out of 6 that was there, and then we were done, and then we had lunch. That was about it. I mean, so yeah, I mean, I will always remember for the rest of my life working for this company, just because of the things that I've had to go through over those years. I'll always be happy things that they've done for me. So I'll always be happy.
I mean, you've done so much for them as well. I mean, you've helped produce this massive certification program, which has hit just recently a massive milestone.
Yeah, I think the next big milestone will be 1 million certified users, if I'm correct. I remember when I started there, we might have had a few thousand certifications, and that was with a team of 3 people. And if you look back at that, okay, 1 million users, we get how many? I think we might get like 100,000 certifications a year now, right? But we still only have 4 people on the team.
Yeah.
I mean, that's in that growth numbers, that's high. When I was managing the team, I was always looking at the metrics all the time, right?
Yeah.
And seeing, okay, what can we do more and more, But it's just crazy to see how fast it gets and stuff like that. But we've always kept the exams complicated as much as we can, because we want the users to understand that when you get a certification, there's a reason that you get a certification. It's not just something they give you,
I mean, it is very highly sought after.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
Casey's just said that he remembers when he met you in Santa Monica before you started with SolidWorks.
Yeah, I remember that. Yes, yep. That probably with Richard Doyle, and he was the user group guy back then. Yep.
Yeah, way back when.
Yeah, I kind of like the Santa Monica office. It was nice. So now they're in Woodland Hills, but I mean the beach versus the inland area. Well, the beaches are probably nice, definitely.
Yeah,
more fun. The beer's better, I guess.
I mean, I wouldn't mind a nice little beach stroll during your lunch break.
Yeah, it would definitely improve my day. Maybe cheeky crisp beer or something.
Yeah, Mark Johnson, that's been with SolidWorks, I don't know how many decades now. He used to live in Santa Monica, and we had lunch and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's in tech support.
Yeah.
I mean, really nice guy. I mean, I think he was on the East Coast, and he came out to the West Coast, and then he went back to the East Coast. So he travels everywhere. But he was in Houston or in Texas for a while. So I apologize, Mark, if I forget where you live now. But
I think it's New England at this point.
Some cold, snowy place.
I think he might be. Yes. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I think it's Cambridge or something, because he was asking a lot about how similar the names in New England are, town names are to, or Chelmsford, I think it was.
Yeah. Definitely. Yep. Yeah. Some of those cities are, I don't know, the phonetics are different. It's okay. Is that the word? Like Worcester, right?
Yeah.
It's spelled basically like Worcester or
Yes.
Worcester. It's like okay, it's crazy.
Well, I mean, in South Africa, we call it Worcester.
Yeah.
We put a V on there because the W is pronounced with the V. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's great. It's
I've,
great.
sorry, Mike. I've been texted a shout out for you, Mike, by John Matrician. Says he
John,
can't chat right now, but he can text me.
No, that's great because we went there to I think he still works for them where he worked for. So we rode our motorcycles down there. I had my motorcycle there for a few years, and then we had lunch and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I remember he was a user group guy from back in my days as well, and I hope I get to see him at a 3D Experience World down the road. He hasn't been there for a while, but
I think he did mention he is coming this
yeah,
year.
I mean it's time to bring all these old people back again. I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Casey's already said he's going to be there this year.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it's yeah. It's the new generation, right? But our us old people, we need to still be there, right?
Yeah, there's a nice kind of crossover now that's happening, and the one person I'd love to meet at World is Jeff Mirasola. He just seems like a firecracker.
Yeah, yeah. Great story with Jeff. And Jeff, if he hears this, he needs to come because he's the reason that I built the CSWE exam.
Oh wow.
He's the reason right there. So one year he says he's like, I mean, the CSWP exam, it's too easy now. It's only 3 hours long. It's like it's everyone could take it. I said, okay, Jeff, when you come back next year, I'm gonna have a new exam for you, and you have to pass. You have to take it. If you pass it, good, congratulations. If not, you tell me if it's too hard. So then the very next year he gets there, and I said, okay, here's the exam, and it was the CSWE exam, and he sat there for 3.5 hours, and it's fine if I tell him, yeah, he missed it. He didn't pass it. He told me, he's like, great exam. I mean, you did the exact thing that we needed to do. Of course, I gave him the CSW exam because of that. He got close, very, very close. So he'll always be like one of the top people that have gotten for CSW. I mean, he just, I can still remember we were in the press area talking to him about that, and some of the press people were like, hey, can you guys quiet down? It's too loud. Some of the press people can be, I know what you guys do, right? With all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So yeah. I hope Jeff comes somewhere down the road as well. Seems like he's always around the world now.
Yeah,
he's just started
traveling.
Today I saw he's at the airport for his first trip of the year.
No, it's not his first trip. This is like his third.
Of the year.
Yeah, the man has traveled so far already.
Get those.
I'm gonna check his Instagram. Tell you where he's been. It might be his first overseas.
Oh, get those miles.
Oh, he does.
He definitely gets his miles.
Yeah.
1st of January, Seattle to Atlanta. 4th of January, Atlanta to Seattle.
Wow.
Now where's he going? I don't know what. I don't know
what
airport
he's going to
is.
Atlanta. I don't know where he's going in from there.
Wow. Yeah. It's I miss all that. I mean, COVID changed everything for everyone, right? With the guys on my team, when I was running the team, since I was by myself and they had families like that, I always took the stuff that I needed to, so they could stay home to enjoy their families and stuff like that. And so I was on planes all over the place. And I used to always put it on Facebook where I checked in. A few times someone asked, do you always put that on Facebook so you can show like how many places you get to go to? I said, no, actually it was because it was one way that I could, that my mom could see that I was alive still. So I can made a deal with her that she would always knew where if I was fine, and so I miss all those all that stuff back in the day, and so I have all those Facebook memories. it changes everything. It's seeing those pictures from those decades like that, or not those years and years. It's good stuff to remember.
Yeah, I mean, I know you've got some fantastic stories from Disney and going to Disney and seeing all the behind the scenes of the parks and that stuff. Jonny did his trip to Disney World in, what was it, April last year?
Yeah, seems like very long time ago. It was April just gone. It was good.
I'm busy paying for my Disney World trip, which is in March. So, I'm going to be amazed by everything, but I know that you've seen some amazing stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah, I can probably talk about 10% of it. I have friends that are still in California in the Team Disney Anaheim. The ride group, the people that they don't design the rides, they do all the mechanical parts of it.
Yeah,
and they use SOLIDWORKS for the most part. And
I just want to say, sorry, Jeff's just asking, what are you whining about?
There he is. Yes, yeah. I'll grab him up. He can have a beer with me at SOLIDWORKS World this year if he comes.
Said he's not coming.
Well, I'll send him. Tell me what T-shirt size he needs, and I'll send it to him. Just tell me what size. So.
Casey says he used to work in the Hollywood Disney.
Yep. Yeah. We went there. Yeah. I mean, again, our customers are like, it's crazy to see the industries that we have customers in. It's like it can be anything, and it's just a piece of software, right? But it's more than that. It's because it changes people's lives, right? Like we were talking about, right? Like when I'd be on a plane, most of the time I was always wearing like SOLIDWORKS shirts, right? Or jackets like that. And it's like a lot of times in the airport, like, oh, do you use SOLIDWORKS? I go, well, I work for them. Oh, how do you do this and that, right? Oh, yeah, I'll help them. It's such a great. The community is probably the best part of that.
Yeah. It's good. I mean, Jeff tells us he wears a size fat.
How do we, Jeff? At least me and Kirby.
I mean, and Jeff, it's his mother's 80th, so I don't know if he's going to make it.
Honestly, they've pushed World back this year, and now Jeff can't make it because it clashes with his mum's birthday.
Well, that's probably more. That's definitely more important. That's right.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, I think I went down to. Well, I used to wear XX T-shirts, and then I went down to medium.
Yeah,
I can wear a medium, but large is comfortable. Yeah. So, Jeff, definitely get to a large, maybe. It's health-wise, you'll feel much better, like you were talking about earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, he's a great guy. I'll always remember that guy and stuff like that. And he's always loud, but it was his Boston part of him, right? For sure.
Yeah, he says XXL.
Yeah.
He was a guest once.
I'll definitely try to remember that. Yes.
Yeah, he was a guest once on the Hallway Hangouts, and definitely the loudest voice in the room. And since then, I've been like, I need to go drinking with this man.
Yeah.
He's going to start doing the cocaine diet.
There you go. Yes. There you go. That works. Yeah.
It's the only way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Jeff, I wouldn't do that with the amount of international travel you undertake. It may cause issues.
Yeah, that whole drug dog thing might be too hard to deal with.
I know there's some countries that even if you've like just got it in your system, straight to jail.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, last year you were talking to us and you said that you're so grateful that you get to go to World again and see the doors open again. See all those people running. That's the one thing you told Sutra that you really want to. I just want to find out, how did that feel for you? Because I enjoy it every year.
Emotional, even at this point, even this second, it's it's still emotional for me, because it's weird because I know my life has revolved around SOLIDWORKS for years and years, and not because a job shouldn't be your life, because when you clock out, right, you should have your own life, right? but since I was by myself and stuff like that, it was, I think because I liked it so much, I just it was fun for me, you
Yeah.
know. And even the guys on the team, like you know, I mean, Avelino, he would send me emails sometimes. Are you really working at like, okay, that based on your time, 4 in the morning? Yeah, because I would just finish a call for people in Vélizy, in France, right? And it's a Friday, right? And we just finished a meeting. So what? That's pretty early. Yeah, but those are people in France on a Friday. They want to go home, right?
Yes.
So, and they have families, right? So why can't I just sit here in 4 in the morning so they can go home and be with their families?
You get to start your day earlier.
Yes, as well. But most of the time, of course, I worked, 12 hours, or so. But as a manager back then, for me, it was like I wanted to do the things that I could to keep my team happy.
Yeah.
To a point where they would never leave the company. Their job was, they were so happy with their job, they would never leave.
Yeah. I mean,
And those are things that my dad instilled in me as a young worker. I mean,
a saying that a friend of mine always goes by is people don't quit their job, they quit their bosses.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, and we looked at people in our team. I've been there 15 years. Avelino's in the team now close to 20 years. Yannick is, I think, probably 6 or 8 years or somewhere right there. Or Daniel's around there as well. But once they joined the team, they haven't come back, or they stayed. And I even remember with my boss now, Yannick. A few times he told me, he says, I didn't think I could manage a guy like that, because he knows simulation times 10,000.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows everything about simulation on top of simulation. So they said, well, do you want to? Can I join your team? I go, you want me to be your boss? I go, I can spell simulation back then, right? He says, but I mean, he wanted to learn everything, and so even Avelino, he told me one time, or we had the entire team here in Vegas some years ago, and we were having lunch, and I said, do you guys hate that so I don't have any degrees. I never went to college, right? And you guys have, bachelor's degrees. Yannick has a master's degree. Does it suck that I never went to school? And Avelino's fast. He's no. He's because we've learned so much from you because in working in life. He says everything in a book is, that's easy to do, right? But when you can learn things in life, it's completely different.
We can say there's some things you can't be taught.
Exactly. And those were the things that my dad instilled in me back then, and so I miss having my dad. And so he died about a year and a half ago, probably 5 months after my stroke and like that. So it's hard to go through all that with him here and stuff like that. But I was able to take him to a Raiders game here in town. I have seats for the Raiders, and the only he says, I want to go to a game with you at least once, because, and I tell him, like, okay, the reason I was able to buy those seats is because he showed me all that stuff in life where I can make money enough to pay for those stuff.
Yeah.
And he was there. He walked the whole time and everything else, and he was completely tired after that. But I'll always remember that picture of him and I at stadiums for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff says he's no college kid either.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, Elon Musk talks about that even now, right? That's how it is.
Yeah. I mean, as Jeff says, you've done a kick-ass job with the certification program. I think you said that you guys have passed 1 million.
Close to, yeah.
Yeah, close to 1 million. With Jonny now being one of them.
I did my bit last year for you, mate.
Yeah. That depends. If you could post all the names, like how long would that thing be? Right?
You can take me off the hit list of people to get certified. I've done it for you.
I mean, I think that would be quite impressive if you guys hit 1 million and you just posted the name of every certified user. It doesn't have to be, able to read it. Just this long list of a minute video of just like names streaming past.
How many hours would that take? I mean, it's great. I mean, yeah, it's again, it's. I guess I lucked into I kind of lucked into the job, but I never wanted to leave. I never, even to this day, I never want to leave. I would, when I get to probably my 70s, that's time to retire, but they'll keep me as long as I can, as long as they'll give me, that's for sure.
You don't have to retire, Mike. You could just go part-time.
Well, it's not like we have to worry about. Not like we have to worry about the the Las Vegas Raiders up at the Super Bowl and stuff like that, right? American football. But yeah, it's again, even though I keep harping on this thing, it's I love working for SOLIDWORKS and DS. It changed my life, and it still does to this day.
Yeah. It's kind of like why we go to World, why we do this podcast, hang out with people that basically have in and around SOLIDWORKS in some form or way, and everybody has their own unique, different story of.
Me and Kirby, we're a great example, dude. Like, we met at World. We started this because we didn't speak between worlds, and then you were at my wedding not long ago. So,
yeah. Full circle.
Full circle moment. That actually thinking about it didn't quite click on the day. I was busy with other things. Again,
a community, right?
Massively.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeff does ask if the certification has been made easy if Jonny passed it. Jeff, I will tell you now that Jonny failed his first attempt because he didn't do the assemblies correctly. And
but you don't want to make it look too easy, do you, Jeff? You gotta tease it out.
Exactly. Yeah. He's Jeff. If anything, he's more really good with like meetings now instead, right? And traveling. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's one of the reasons why I go to World is to catch up with everybody. I mean, I thoroughly enjoy it. It's that catch up with everybody. I mean, now there's plenty of like different WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups where we will chat and share things with life, but we still enjoy catching up with everybody and telling people what our plans are for the next year, what we've been up to.
Me and Kirby are even planning to go to some sessions this year. That's when it's got serious.
Yeah, I mean the session catalog is just. I didn't huge. Go. Yeah, last year I wasn't able to go to any sessions. I didn't. It was pretty early after the stroke for me to deal with that stuff, and I walked around a little bit. I went through the playground a few times, stuff like that. But even then, even for me to move around the playground, I would get my brain couldn't understand where I was at a lot of times, right? But just to walk around and see things with all this stuff, it's just great, I know, like on Sunday morning, when they open the doors for when people can go for registration, right, on Sunday morning, right? Yeah. I would years and years in a row. I would get down there early, like it's probably 8 or 7 in the morning, or before they're opening the registration.
Yep.
So we could double check if a CSWE person like, it says I don't have a CSWE. So we'd have a computer right there. Okay, he's good, and because the people that work the desks and like that, they have so much that they have to do. We would go there and we'd do it instead, so they could do other things that they could do, but a lot of time it was time you'd meet or you'd see the people that I'm this guy, Yeah, it's fun to be there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, is it still the same that with every ticket to 3D Experience World, you can do your exam on that ticket?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. You'll have to pass that along to the team because there's some different changes this year with that.
There's a lot of different tiers this year. Actually, I found checkout quite confusing. There must be 4 or 5 options this year rather than just like the one. No breakfast this year.
That as well, yeah. Again, how long the conference has been around? How many years now? 15 or 20 years? 25 years? 25 years now? Something like that. Of course, they go through changes, right? Eventually, because they're going to come back. Okay, let's go how we used to do it. 3 general sessions in the morning. That'll be it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get the breakfast because you do end up with a lot of food waste. Not everybody does breakfast. I think Nashville was the worst culprit of that because everybody just ate in the hotels because everybody's hotel included breakfast. And I think one thing that's really nice with the way that they're doing lunch this year is instead of just having the same buffet, it's a bunch of food carts. You get a little ticket and you go and you do that. And the one person had mentioned that's great because that's supporting your local businesses.
Yeah, exactly.
People from around there versus importing this massive team.
I'm looking forward to that as well, actually, because I think there'll be a food variety.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but I feel like Jonny and I are going to get just bunch of free tickets.
Yeah, but that seems to happen wherever we go.
Yeah, it's we talk about the the events team. I don't know how the events team how they do it. I mean, you're talking about maybe what, say 6,000 people, right? But there's every little thing they have to deal with, right?
Yeah.
Like the sign that they post for, the boards, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there's got to be, there's one person that has to double check. Okay. Are all these words correct? Is that the right font? Is that the wrong font? Should this letter be bigger? It's like,
worse than that. Like, does that arrow point to the next board that I've designed that then points to this board? And one of them goes wrong and 100 people end up in the wrong room.
I'm pretty sure last year there was one of those boards that had a spelling mistake on it. Last year, or it said the wrong year.
I mean,
it was a digital one, so they were able to change it quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly who runs that program, that team. His name is Byron, and in fact, I met him. We had lunch. So here in Vegas, we had CES last week, right? And so I went to the DS booth, and Byron was there, and I shook his hand and I said, "Nice to you as well." I go, "Thank you for all the help over the years." I mean, and it's like, well, I mean, that's easy. I mean, for us, it's easy. I go, well, I don't know how you guys do that either, but they work hard. I mean, there's down in the dungeons of the conference center, they have a room where all the girls and the guys, they hang out, we're all connecting with all this stuff, so they have one little room. Only those who go in that room, give them whatever they need, of course, because they make the whole conference happen. That's for sure.
I mean, you've got your little taste of event organization with the CSW event. How will people get their wristbands for that event?
Same thing as normal on Monday afternoon, probably 11 in the morning or so. Sometimes we get there a bit early, but yeah, I think we keep the desk there to at least usually around like 2 or 3 o'clock. But definitely.
They just come and collect their wristbands there.
Yes, and just please come give your wristbands. You're going to be able to walk there from the venue. That's for sure. So there's no buses. There will be a bus for people that need handicap issues and things like that and stuff like that. But yeah, get there early. Our attendees. I mean, they're very smart how they move things around, right? Yeah. Even when they open the general session doors, 5,000 or 6,000 people, they say, okay, the people that have the venue, they said, oh, you have to open those doors at least an hour before, because it'll take a long time for people to get in there. Our users they're very fast with things,
They run.
Yes, yeah. So yeah.
Too Tall Toby has jumped in to say hi, Mike.
Definitely. Call me Toby, by the way. I watched his podcast last week, and he's doing some really crazy things with kids and things like that. That will change those kids' lives. Yeah, but definitely, I remember Toby's great guy, definitely a good guy. But yeah. So I forget what we're talking back or going back with, but
Yeah, the event, and I can confirm that the event will be at.
There you go. Exactly.
There
Yeah.
we go.
The funny thing, on my other monitor right now, I'm actually looking at right now the flyer for the event. We just got the email. One of the guys on our team, Daniel, he does the flyer. And so I'm looking at it, it's like it's SolidWorks CSW expert event. Yeah, it's at this blah blah blah, blah and it's blah 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 and this plus blah blah. Yep, yep. So let's see. It actually says from 11 o'clock to 4 p.m. You will receive a SolidWorks CSWE shirt and a wristband, which you need to get to the party. It says transportation will not be provided. The venue is a 10-minute walk from the convention.
That's good.
Yeah, it says, and your 3D Experience World Conference badge and wristband will be required. So definitely grab your wristband and your badge as well.
Yeah, I mean, last year's one was a lot of fun with all the arcades and all that.
Yeah, yeah. So what happens when they probably 4 or 5 months before the conference, they send us from the events team, here's some options. They give us 3 options, and I think they always give us the best ones. I think,
Yep.
And I think it's because I tell that, when I was running the team, I would say okay, these girls, they work so hard, do whatever we can to keep them happy,
Yes.
because they're dealing with things on top of it, So let's do what we can so it can easier for them, But they've always and then they always come to that event, because the press event is usually at nearly the same time, A lot of people, they leave the press event because they want to go to the CSWP party or CSWP party.
Because Jonny and I, we kind of came in right at the end because we were at the an influencer event. This year we need to pop into the TriMac customer appreciation event, so we're going to try and ram as much as we can in that evening as is tradition.
I just realized I'm getting 2 refunds this year, one from TriMac as well.
Why are you getting a refund from TriMac?
Because they own Solid Solutions, whose I pay my license fee to.
There you go. Yep. Yeah, we usually have the best alcohol, but not anymore. We have beer and stuff like that, but the food's usually better. I will say that, yes.
Yeah. I see. So I just want to mention Heather Haas is now.
Heather, yeah, Heather, yeah, yep. Yeah, I remember Heather. Yep, and what's her husband's name?
Earl.
Earl. Yes. Please say hi to Earl as well.
Yeah. Yeah. We always try and ram our schedule with as much stuff as possible.
Are they having the hangout area, whatever they're called now?
The Hive is now in the main playground area.
Yeah,
as well, no longer separate.
That'd be good.
If they still have the VIP area.
It's
what do you guys play? Instruments, right? Trombone?
No,
that's Matt Hall.
Clegg.
Matt
Clegg,
yeah.
I can try to play the trombone. It won't be any good.
I was 6th grade when I played trombone. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lovely piano behind you that you can try and tinkle on.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah. Let's see. Yep.
Might need a tune up.
It's funny. It's right around the corner in the upstairs. I actually bought a electronic keyboard after the stroke. Telling you, well, sometimes when people have a stroke, since it resets some things, that people will learn things that they never would have done before.
Yeah.
The brain gets so caught up with things. It's okay. Well, learn a piano. So I tried for a few days and then it's covered in dust still. So, but they're cheap. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still doing my cross stitch over there.
Are you still doing that?
Yeah, I've been working on that for 2 years. I'm about.
I thought you must have given up.
Yeah,
I'm always tinkering with different things.
It's one of the hardest parts has been being a right-handed person, right? I'm kind of like ambidextrous now, to where I use my left hand for I would say for 98% of the things that I do.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so my right hand just ends up in my lap most of the time. And the physical therapy people said, look, if you don't use it, you'll lose it, and over the time, what happens is like you have like probably like 3 to 6 months after a stroke where the connections are there, like, and they're firing as much as they can, and then it starts to slow down over time. So I should have probably put my left hand in a glove and only use my right hand, So I did that. I did the wrong thing in those ways, which is fine, But yeah, I mean, even to this day, even my right leg is, you wake up in the middle of the night and your arm is numb.
Yep.
It's kind of like how it is, but not.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's still, those are the nerve endings with the brain that it's still trying to repair. And I think as you get older, it takes longer. I'm in my 50s now, so but yeah, it definitely changes. Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, it is a long road, and I guess everybody kind of goes at their own pace.
Yeah. I'm just looking forward to being in Houston and to seeing everyone on Sunday morning. I mean, we get there on Friday, so we'll be
you said
there.
you always get there early. You have a bit of a dinner, and you get prepared and all that stuff.
Yeah, we hit the ground running, and we finally can sit down and take a breath. Probably Tuesday morning after the CSW event.
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking now at if you get a full conference pass, you do get the certification exam included.
There you go.
So you guys that's probably your busiest day then.
Yeah, between that and the party, yeah, definitely, yeah, and then hanging out with the users. I mean, it's when you have a SOLIDWORKS badge, like, you have a question about this, isn't that? Yeah, we of course, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one thing that I really enjoyed about the user group network and being, going to Worlds, that you get thrown in the mix with the employees, the people who make the software, and you can ask those questions of why does it do this? What is happening with this?
Yeah, I mean,
can you help me with that? And if you don't have the answer, more often than not, you know a person who has the answer. And Jonny and I are kind of making our way to be those people of you know someone.
Yeah, maybe you guys will be the employees somewhere down the road, right? Maybe if you might have to shave your beard. I think.
Hopefully.
That would be good. It would make my life easier.
Yeah. I mean, the red badge, I mean, those are our customers, but they're friends for the most part, definitely. But
yeah,
and is it called SOLIDWORKS Live or is it 3D Experience Live? I apologize if what it's called.
I think it's SOLIDWORKS Live still.
SOLIDWORKS Live, yeah. In that desk, and that, I mean, if you go behind the scenes, how they're putting it all together and how they run it for that, I mean, it's not just like a camera. I mean, you're smart. You do the things. You have all the stuff that you need, right? But they'll have cameras on top of cameras with other kind of videos and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the setup is like it's awesome what they do, And so I would basically I hang behind the scenes to watch that,
It is quite fascinating. I mean, when I was in Boston for the SLUG Me, and watching them film and produce that. All the audio was running through a Rodecaster Pro, and I just sat there with the guy. I was like, I've got one of those. I was just asking him about it and talking, and they use the exact same mics as well, and just nerding out about that stuff and realizing that I've basically got the same equipment that could run those kind of things. You just need the people to behind the scenes. And when we did Nashville 2 years ago, when we worked with Ian and we had a half an hour spot every day on the desk.
Well,
and just seeing the behind the scenes of prepping for all that kind of stuff is insane. And just seeing Ian's spreadsheets and all that stuff, and the guys in the back, everything just moves smoothly because everybody's where they need to be when they need to be there.
Yeah, the meeting invites. I mean, if you look on their calendar, every day, every half hour, there's a meeting.
Yeah.
But I remember, I mean, great people. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, everybody has their role. Everybody's an important part of this machine, and it's always fun when you get to meet people that really invest in the certifications, for example, and that's what they're there for. And you meet the other people that are like Jonny and I that are there for the networking, and then people that are there to learn more about SolidWorks or PDM. Everybody's there for their specific reasons. And when you get to chat with these people and say like, oh, what sessions are you doing next? What are you looking forward to? Those kind of conversations get you learn like, oh, there's a whole different side of just what we use.
Yeah, it changes everything. It's like the SolidWorks Live stuff. We had like Daniel Granillo on our team. I put him out in front to in live, to talk about a draft site exam a few years ago or so, and I said, well, go ahead and do it. And I said, well, shouldn't you do it? No, I don't. Oh, yes, I am the boss or whatever, but we'll do it because that's your thing. I don't have to be on top of everything. Like if I think as a good manager, I think you're behind the scenes 90% of the time, and you're all the people on the team. They should be up front because they're working hard on those things. Yeah, a lot of times as a manager, I would okay, you catch your breath, like, yeah, it's good. I'm glad they're doing that, But you would always remember, like, okay, it's like, yep, they did that.
Yeah, I mean,
as a boss, you have to do all the HR stuff instead.
Yes.
Yeah, you're telling me it's not the most fun thing sometimes, but it's good.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's how teams get built, though.
Yeah,
when you have the right people in the team will just run on its own in those ways.
I mean, I think you've got a perfect example of that. I mean, you had your stroke and your team carried on.
Yeah.
They kept that program. It didn't like crumble, fall apart or anything. You built your team enough that they can, work when you're away.
Yeah, it's a good thing. The HR stuff that we had, it was looking some years before then. We had to put all the information. Okay. If something happens to you, who should be the person to do this or that?
Yeah.
And that's what it's hard to think about those things though, right? Because
you don't expect it either.
No, but I mean, I remember, one day I'm life is normal, right? And then all of a sudden, 3 days later, I wake up in a hospital, not able to speak, things like that. And the company is really good with that stuff. It's a great big company. They know exactly. So the HR people, thank you for that. I mean, they know what they're doing. I mean, they did the right things. Yeah.
Yeah, they really are looking after you, which is fantastic. And I think we're all looking forward to seeing each other in what is almost a month's time.
Fast, yeah.
Like if it was the normal time, it would be exactly a month's time, but it's what's it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks.
Okay.
It's that long. I've got another trip to America to squeeze in yet before then.
I thought you were doing that after World.
No,
We're
before.
going to try squeeze it in before.
No, I'm doing it before, yeah.
I remember when SolidWorks World was in the right after the New Year, probably like 2 weeks after.
Mm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and now it's a month and a half later.
Yeah, if we keep going at this rate, we'll be.
We get the summer tan.
Yeah. So not to get too much into the behind the scenes, but like it's I did hear where the next 3D experiences are at. But I can't tell you that also. But it's
They're in the States, right?
It's in the United States.
There we go.
And
you heard it here first. 3D Experience World next year is going to be in the States.
There you go. Yes, and it'll be somewhere between California and whatever is that? Actually,
Florida.
Florida is actually is on that coast.
Well, that rules out my holiday to Hawaii.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to have it in Hawaii.
It would be lovely, and I think Mike will be
It'd be
super
nice.
appreciative of it.
Yeah. What if we were in Boston though, with the snow and stuff?
I think that would be lovely.
Oh,
I think that after the first year of Nashville, when it snowed and some flights were delayed, they may have pooed their pants a little bit about anywhere that might be cold.
could be, yeah. Well, I think as long as they think about on the East Coast, the European people coming over.
True.
You guys do. It's shorter and better.
Jeff said it, and I think we've all done it. It used to be Valentine's Day week, and there were a few of us who had to send flowers and chocolates.
Hey, this is my first birthday at home in many years,
There you go.
except for the COVID years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even then, I spent it with Kirby. So
There you go.
You did, actually.
Yep.
It's going to be sad. I'm not going to spend your birthday with you anymore.
I'll send you some flowers.
Yeah, you better. Technically, I should send you flowers, but
I meant Valentine's.
I'll take the flowers, you know.
So, what happened to the mic flag thing you guys are making for?
Oh yeah,
How is that going?
good. Kirby's printed them. They're quite long.
Well, there you go. And it has an AirTag thing, right, or
I
something
got
like
the
that.
big boy.
You can tap it, right?
There
Yeah,
is
it's
it's
got
not
a
an
NFC
AirTag,
in
it's
it.
an NFC. So
NFC.
if I put my phone, there's my little dog, and if I tap my mic with it, it'll then give me a link that I
Perfect.
can tap.
Yep.
It'll take us to the YouTube channel.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
When
almost.
people ask, "Oh, who are you guys with the core podcast?" It's like, where can we find them? We just bonk them with this thing.
There you go.
It's actually very heavy.
Maybe you should have put like some weights in it just in case. Dunk, dunk, dunk. You know.
No, it's good and heavy already, but that's the old one. A nice small mic, but I always felt like our hands up here is a bit tiring. Where now it's a lot more relaxed, and if you're interviewing someone, you don't have to like shove your fist in their face. Now you can be a bit more nonchalant
Discreet.
with it.
Yeah, one of your closer the podcast recently, you're talking about it should be this tall or this short. It's like so you're talking about like it's an hour ago. You're talking about just that part. I mean,
Yeah, just the length of it.
yes, but that's why those things happen. They has to.
Yeah. And it all comes apart nicely, and then the little NFC slots in there. That's all it is, this tiny little disc.
Yep.
Great piece of design work.
Yeah.
I had to make some changes, but
Oh, did you?
I had to change it to 4
4 pins.
pins
Oh,
to get around the
'cause of
NFC.
Yep. There you go.
But I haven't glued it yet. And then our little portable mics fit in there on the top.
I thought I had my keys here, but I don't. So I have Apple AirTags that are on everything, so I could find things because in my house I couldn't. I didn't know where I put my keys,
Yeah.
and so that's what makes it easier.
Yeah, I see a lot of people are using them to like track their bags and whatnot.
Yeah, and yeah. Even Apple, the next generation of AirTags is coming next next spring or this spring, whatever it is, or early next year, where it'll have more things they can do with it now.
I would love for them to have it so that you can use it without a internet connection, where you can just like have your local area and it just kind of points where the person is or where the tag is.
Yeah.
Because that would be great at festivals with, I can just stick one in my wife's pocket, and then if I need to find her, I just follow the arrow.
Yeah, as long as it's in their pocket, it'll work, right? But
Yeah. The problem is right now it uses a network, and when you got 100,000 people bouncing off like 5 towers, you get no signal.
yeah, maybe the satellite might be easier with that. I think so. I think even with the Apple stuff, with the SOS stuff, it doesn't matter if you don't have service. It goes to a satellite, and it can find people just like that with that now. Yeah, it's crazy.
Hopefully. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets more accurate and better.
Yeah, I mean, over time, I mean, think about like Starlink, right?
I was just going to mention that, yeah.
Yeah, where I mean, it's like here in the States here, like in Florida, right? So with the hurricanes, I mean, all the power lines were gone. Yeah. Okay, well, they deployed Starlink things there instead. Okay, well, now you actually have, at least you have the connection that you need. Maybe there might be power, but at least you have service in those ways.
Yeah. He did that. He did the same thing with the wildfires, a little bit down from you, Mike, or down and across. Deployed a load of Starlink for free, so people could still contact each other.
Yeah, I have not a huge environmentalist person, for sure. But we go to for the Raiders game, and we park in the parking lot. I have these batteries, okay, and they're not huge, but we can plug in things for. We've had all different kinds of stuff to cook stuff, and it's like they're cheap now, and I mean, it's crazy how it works now.
Yeah, the camping game has changed a lot.
Mm-hmm. For the better.
Yes, yep. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this. I mean, this is let's see, this is a 2 gigabyte. There it is. Drive. I mean, things tiny. 3 gigabytes or 2 gigabytes.
Yeah.
And it's weird.
Yeah, it's fun watching technology get smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
And I make mics that are massive.
Yeah.
To be fair, like the mic just fits in the top there. It's a tiny little thing, but this looks like
beefy handle.
Yeah.
It is very it's beefy.
Yeah, it's like when it's like when people take is it a video or is it am I taking a picture or is it a video? With a phone, right? It's like, is it is that a video or is it just taking a picture? I think now it's like you just have to use it. Okay, it's probably a video now.
Yeah, I mean at this point you just take a picture. It also kind of records a bit of
a little video,
perfect
doesn't it?
moment, and then you can even turn that into a little video.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah.
But it is, plug and play with Apple.
Mm-hmm.
No offense to all the Android users, but Apple is better.
With the 2 Macs and a 3 Macs behind my desk. Yeah. Don't ask me why I have to have 3 or 4 Macs, but
it's okay. I've got 3 Windows PCs in the house, so you're forgiven. All for different uses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do think that is a beautiful spot to wrap up this episode, Mike. It's been an absolute pleasure hanging out, and I cannot wait to see you again at 3D Experience World 2025.
Yeah, thank you, and I appreciate that. It was good to hang out with you guys again, and stuff like that. It's I missed not being able to do it before, like we used to. And last year I couldn't, because I wasn't the right year for me to do that, And as I got closer to this year, I thought, you know what, I think I can do it now, and to not have an issue with that stuff, But it's for me, it's turning that corner to get back to normal. Yeah. These little things are the things that help me to get to that point, to get back to normal.
Yeah, I think it was great. Everybody was happy to see you there. I think everybody will be happy to see you again this year.
Yeah, who knows what's going to go down the road now? I mean, wait till we get to 2 million people, right? With certifications.
Look, just like with money, they say that the first million's the hardest. After that, it's easy.
Yeah, makes sense.
Just like getting 1 million YouTube subscribers or 1 million followers.
Yeah,
first million is the hardest.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's what you guys are doing. It's a very niche thing, right? So don't worry about it if it's you only get to 1,000 or 2,000. I mean, 2,000 people. That would be those 9,999 people know exactly what it is. It's not just some algorithm thing,
Yeah, I mean, if it gets to 1,000, that far precedes expectation of this. This is just the place for us to hang out.
Exactly.
Catch up in between worlds.
Yep, for sure. Yep. But looking forward to you guys as well and stuff, and be there before we know it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're welcome to stick around. Jonny and I are going to do a little outro, play a little video, and we can chat afterwards. Unless you...
Yep, sounds good. Yep.
Yep. Let me find the little button for that little thing. They've changed everything, Johnny, and I'm really upset. It's like when the groceries move your stuff.
I found it if it helps.
Yeah. There we go. If you want to follow me, I'm at KJ Designs 365.
At Kessel Run Creations for me. Don't get your hopes up quite yet.
If you want to see us on social media when we're going to go live next and all the things we're going to get up at will, it's at the Core Podcast. Contact on Instagram, Facebook, it's the Core Podcast with O is a 0. On Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok, we are at the Core Podcast. Crushed
Done it. Nice one, mate.
We'll see everybody in the next one. Bye.